Welcome to the inaugural episode of the Sick Chick Hour, a talk show created to give those with chronic illnesses a chance to be heard, to laugh, and to have fun.
Woo-hoo.
Today, I'll talk a little bit about myself and introduce an exciting and very strong guest. We will play a game, swap stories, and bond. Think of this talk show as a conversation between friends. Anyone in the chronic illness community is somehow related. We all understand something about each other's lives. We share similar traits. And we all just want to be heard and listened to. Without further ado, let's start today's show.
Mhm.
My name is Jen Dunlea, better known as Jen Can't Breathe. I was born with cystic fibrosis, which sucks, by the way. At 13, I had my first double lung transplant. I have fought cancer, somehow kind of managed diabetes, and eat horribly for someone with gastroparesis. Yeah, exactly. I still don't know about that one. 8 months ago, I had my second double lung transplant. How am I today? I'm in pain, nauseous, but I'm happy to be alive. When I was a kid, Don't Stop Believing by Journey became my anthem. It still is. It told me, don't stop believing in yourself. Don't stop believing in the people who love and support you. This is part of the reason I created this show. Welcome to a world of strangers who love and support you. I have a little thing here. That's what I'm reading from, people. I'm just not that good of a speech giver.
Yes, you are, though.
We have a very special guest today. Maddie Mitchell is gracing us with her presence. You might be looking at her right now. I am. Now, when people think of a MILF, they think of Maddie. But honestly, Maddie is a MILF wahog, which is a mother I'd like to fuck with a heart of gold.
I'm stealing that. I love you.
Maddie is a chronic illness warrior, but she is relatively new to this world. But that's her own story to tell us. To continue, she is a fantastic person. She welcomed me into a friend group I now greatly treasure and love. She is a great wife. Jeff, treasure this woman. If not, I will steal your girl.
Is that a threat or a promise?
Both. Maddie has a fantastic life story. Her parents work in the entertainment industry, and she casually drops the most entertaining lore. She's all good things combined. She has a fire in her that never seems to fade, even when the wind is blowing its hardest. Ladies and germs, let's welcome the MILF with a heart of gold, Maddie Mitchell, better known as @the Maddie O.
Thank you for having me. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
Okay, so first question, Maddie. Who are you and what's wrong with you?
Well, I don't think we have enough time for what's wrong with me, but
Well, we can always add a little extra time.
I'm obviously Madison Mitchell. I grew up in Los Angeles, California. I had a very, normal childhood. I grew up on movie sets. I was best friends with Miley Cyrus for a little. I hugged Morgan Freeman, just the basic stuff normal people go through. But all that aside, I did grow up with a mom who suffered from two very serious chronic illnesses. She still has lupus and Crohn's, and she raised me my whole life, and I never knew that lupus and Crohn's was serious because my mom never let it show. And up until I think it was 6 months ago when I was very sick one day, and I went to the doctor with her because I couldn't be left alone. So she's like, "Can you hear that beeping, or is that okay?" So she took me to the doctor's with her, and her doctor said, "I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but your mom has the most serious type of lupus there is." it's very like, everything she has is very, very serious. And I was like, my mom, you mean the mom who always had fresh baked muffins out and woke up and brought all, like, when it was her day for a snack, baked all these muffins, cookies, everything. That mom is the mom that's that sick. So I grew up around having a chronically ill mother, but I didn't know what that meant because she never showed it. Till this day, you would meet her and you'd be like, first of all, if you think I'm a MILF, you should see my mother. She's a GILF.
Ooh.
She is the strongest person I know. And I really didn't have to deal with too many illnesses until the age of 29, I want to say. I'm 30 now. I started taking a GLP-1 medication, like many, I'm sure people watching this probably do. I was prescribed it by a doctor. I did the proper dosage. I worked my way up, I worked my way down. I did everything they told me to do. However, it was about February of 2024, and I would take one bite of salad and I wouldn't eat for the rest of the day. I would be so full and so nauseous that I'm like, I cannot, like, I don't want to eat. And so this went on for a very long time. I would either be so full that I was in pain or I would start throwing up. And so finally, August came around and it was my 30th birthday. And my friends had thrown me a party and we went to San Diego. And I was miserable the whole time I was in San Diego, but I didn't show it because I was like, all these people took time off work. They did, I'm not going to like just be like a Debbie Downer. But I got home and I just started throwing up blood. It's trigger warning for anyone who's against throw up. I just started throwing up chunks and chunks of blood. And my husband looks at me and he goes, you need to go to the hospital. And at this point, I had been to the hospital a few times before, and they pulled the whole, oh, honey, you're anxious, you're fine, you're on
anxiety.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the, oh, you're on GLP-1. That's what happens. You get sick. Come to find out, I had stopped the GLP-1 in June. This is now August. So that excuse was no more an option. So they said, okay, we're going to admit you, but you'll be home in 2 days. We really just think, you're fine. Luckily, I ended up going to one of the top GI doctors in Los Angeles, and he ended up keeping me admitted for over a month. And he said, you are not leaving until we find out what's going on with you. And, they did all the tests. I was here for a month and a half. I have 2 little boys at home, so they don't let kids upstairs. So this was the hardest 2 months, but I left and they said, so we're pretty sure you have severe gastroparesis. And I'm like, pretty sure. I've been here 8 weeks. What do you mean pretty sure? And they go, so at this point I'm on TPN because I can't even use a feeding tube because everything is coming up from the J tube, everything. And they go, you need to do the gastric emptying study, and that shows if you have gastroparesis. And so my husband and I were just talking about this the other day. I went into the gastric emptying study. I was so sick, I couldn't hold down any food. I got to the test. I'm literally sitting there shaking like this. And they go, okay, all you have to do is eat half of this. Mind you, this is what the food is. It's boiled egg whites covered in jelly with white toast. So if you're nauseous, eat that. So I ate half of it, and I'm texting my husband, okay, I can't throw up because if I throw up, the test is over and I have to do it again. And I leave the test and I walk to my car and poof, everything came up, but I made it through the test.
That's what counts. You held it in.
So I got the results in my portal about 2 hours later, and it said at 2 hour mark, I was at 95% retained in my stomach, meaning 95% of the food had not moved past my stomach in 2 hours. And at 4 hour mark, I was at 85%, which is severe gastroparesis. So I remember that day like it was yesterday. I called my husband sobbing, and I said, it's all been so yeah, maybe you have it, but this is so real now. oh, what are we going to do? And my husband called me and he goes, babe, we have a diagnosis. We are going to help you now. Now we can go and we can, and I'm lucky to have such a supportive husband that he said, this is great. And
well, Maddie, that's half the battle is getting a diagnosis.
Exactly.
So
and then, so my husband and I were talking about this the other day. Actually, through this, I ended up being diagnosed with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, and then later on MALS, MCAS, and POTS. And my husband looks at me and he goes, remember when the only thing we were worried about was you getting the results of the gastroparesis test? He goes, can we go back to those days? Because it's
the good old days.
The good old days when you just have one thing wrong with you. But I'm actually, if you can't notice, I'm in the hospital right now.
But you're at a spa.
Kind of a mixture of both. I actually just had my MALS surgery, which went, as Jen knows this, it went incredible. And for the first time since August of 2024, I am able to hold down liquids. And
she ate Jell-O, ladies and gentlemen. And for people who just have never had to experience something like this, yes, eating Jell-O, sure. Drinking some water, sure. That could just be jumping over a puddle for some people. But Maddie literally, by eating a little bit of Jell-O, climbed Mount Everest.
You know what? I called her, I called Jen, I called our two other girlfriends, and I was like, I didn't even call my husband. I didn't call my mom. These were the first people I called because these are my sisters. And we'll probably talk more about this later about how we met and stuff. But
of course.
Yeah, so I did end up getting sepsis. So I have sepsis right now. So we're working through getting me better from sepsis, but I'm really feeling positive, for once once the sepsis is better and once everything gets healed, I think life is going to start looking up for me. Fingers crossed, knock on wood. But yeah, that's what's wrong with me.
That's what's wrong with Maddie, everybody. Well, yeah. She's an A+ lady.
So is she.
Oh, well, thank you.
I call her the baddest bitch I know. So yes, if you guys want to copyright that.
The baddest bitch I know. I'll take it. You're the MILF with a heart of gold. I'm the baddest bitch you know. I mean, we should sort like some sort of rap group.
We should make t-shirts.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Before we start, I said that this is like a call between friends, and if you're starting to pick up on the vibe, that is the vibe we want to give.
So it's easy when you're on the call with your best friend to make it act like it's your best friend. So you're like, I don't know.
Okay. So Maddie, we are going to go into the rapid fire question section. How did you meet your husband?
Hinge.
The dating app designed to be
the first person I had swiped right with real quick. I blocked him on everything after our first date. He made a Google Voice number and tracked me down, and the rest is history.
I love it. Keep going. Okay. What's it like having two boys?
Amazing. I tell you guys all the time, my purpose is to be a mom. I love my kids with all my heart. I love them so much. I know this is rapid fire. I could talk about them for like the entire episode. So keep going.
Okay. What is your least favorite thing about the hospital besides being away from your family?
I would say mean nurses. If you get stuck with a mean nurse, it throws your whole experience. And there's very, very few mean nurses. I usually have the best nurses ever, or mean doctors, because you could have either the best experience or you have the worst experience. It just depends on their mood.
That is very true. Yeah. Nurses sometimes help more than doctors. I hate to say it.
Oh, it's so true.
Because they're the person that's in the room, that's giving you the meds, that's reporting to the doctors. Love my doctors. But I love my good nurses.
Oh, my nurse right now, I'm like obsessed with her.
We might have to talk to her later.
Oh, we will.
Okay. What was Miley Cyrus like? The people want to know.
Okay, so when I was 14 years old, my dad, he was the cinematographer of the Hannah Montana movie. And my dad was up for the movie. And I go, Dad, if you don't get this movie, I am moving out. And mind you, I'm 14 years old. And he's like, okay, cuckoo. And so, actually, fun little Easter egg in the beginning of the movie, they're filming her music video, whatever, and there's a cameraman coming down in a crane with a hat on, and that's actually my dad. So my dad's in the movie. But anyway, so it was summertime. I always visit my dad on set when he's working. And we were at the beach that day filming, and she walked up to me and we were same age, and she's like, hey, what's your name? We bonded. Just, do you want to go in the ocean with me? And I was like, well, like, I don't really have any like clothes. She was, who cares? Like, we're jeans and shirts. We jumped in the ocean in our clothes. Paparazzi went wild. I remember seeing Hannah Montana or Miley Cyrus and best friend are wearing same outfits. Mind you, I met her 3 times and I got her cell phone number and we never talked since. But according to TMZ, I was her best friend and I will forever take that.
Of course, who
But
would not?
she is the nicest, sweetest since the age of 14, nicest person. Like,
That's awesome.
oh, so nice.
So your dad is a cinematographer. How many
Mhm.
movies have you been in?
Me personally,
Yes.
so I was in the start of Blue Crush. I say, I want to be the best surfer in the world. That's my voice in the movie. I got cut from a couple of other scenes. I think it's just that, and then there's one part in the Hannah Montana movie, and then I think that's it. One thing is in Horrible Bosses, my dad planted Easter eggs of my maiden name is Hennings. And if you ever watch Horrible Bosses again, if you look at the dental office where she works, it's called Hennings Plaza. If you're driving and you see the navigation when they're running away from the cops, it says Hennings Street. So it's silly things like that. But
So cute.
my sister was supposed to be in Mighty Ducks D3. She ran up to the mom and goes, Mommy, 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 you lost me. And then her scene got cut. But it's little things like that. So
Fun. That's
yeah. I've
fun.
been in background on Modern Family a couple times, but like you wouldn't even know I was there.
You
So
were holding out on me on Modern Family?
my mom was on Modern
Cut the
Family.
interview. We're done. We're done.
So yeah, my mom did Modern Family, and my dad actually he did the pilot for Modern Family. So both my parents worked on Modern Family for a bit.
So you recently had a huge mole surgery. How did you find your surgeon?
So my main hospital in Los Angeles is Cedars, and I'm sure many of you have heard of it. I have been admitted here about 40 times in a year, and I have a great team here, a great team of doctors. But the vascular surgeon came to talk to me when I was first diagnosed with MALS off my scales, and he said, my scans, not my scales, and he said, you're not going to wake up from the surgery. I'm not doing it. Find someone else to do it. He goes, I'll tell you who's going to do it, Dr. Shoehead. And I said, who the heck is that? And then I started talking to other people. They go, Dr. Shoehead is the guy because they're saying they wanted to cut me from here to here. They weren't sure I was going to wake up. And so I get, all these, maybe 10, 15 recommendations. You need to see Dr. Danny Shoehead. And I said, okay, fine, I'll do it. And my husband is like, before I even have a chance to say, okay, fine, I'll do it. My husband has made the appointment, paid the down payments and everything because he just wants my life back. But I met Dr. Shoehead and I wasn't sure about it. I thought, what if I don't eat or drink again? What if all this surgery doesn't work and I go over under a really dangerous procedure basically for no reason? My husband convinced me of it. You girls convinced me of it. And I could not be more grateful because this surgery changed my life. Yeah, of course, I'm fighting sepsis. The sepsis has nothing to do with the surgery. It's for my central line, if you can't tell. Um, but I am eating liquid foods for the first time since August. I've had hundreds of doctors tell me I will never eat I'll never eat or drink anything again. So to be like, you know what, screw you, look at this, I'm doing it now.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
saved my life because you can't live a life where you just, I mean, you don't think about how important food and drinking and everything is in your life until it's gone
Mhm.
because it's how you socialize, it's how you spend time with people. And even then, I was on TPN for so long. You're not supposed to be on TPN for a long time. Every time I would tell someone, oh, I've been on TPN since August, they'd be like, oh, like, but
There's a lot of risks, a
it's
lot
a
of
lot of risk.
risks, and you do not
Yeah,
get proper nutrition from TPN.
exactly. So, I will say this is my water cup.
She's gonna do it. She did
Cheers to
it.
Dr. Shoehead because I could not have
Cheers.
done that without him. Yeah, so all I would say is if you were suffering from mouths, I highly recommend looking into him because there's not many doctors who do the surgery, and he does do a thing where he makes you get off pain meds before the surgery, which is a common practice because the pain after is so much that if your body's just so used to these meds, and there are some people that will fight me on this and say it's not true, but it's going to be hard to control your pain.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are like, I don't want to get off the pain meds. I did it. It was hard. I'm not going to lie. I didn't get out of bed for the 6 weeks. You guys saw me suffering, but I'm so glad I did it because now I have an outlook at life that I don't want to get back on that many pain meds after I recover. I want to like start living life again. And I genuinely think I might be able to. So
You will.
yeah, I highly recommend him. If anybody even thinks they have mouths, go give him a call.
I
Yeah.
just want to add, I know I've told Maddie the story hundreds of times, but it's so important to find a surgeon or a doctor that you feel comfortable with. For my second transplant, I was denied by every major lung transplant center in the US except for NYU Langone. Shout out to Langone. But like Maddie said, eating is so important and drinking as a part of our culture, but not even that, but just ourselves. It's important for your body, it's important for your mind, because these are things that you do as people. And one transplant surgeon basically said, okay, we'll do your transplant, but we're just going to have to take your esophagus out and you're going to have a drain out your neck for your spit and you'll be tube fed. And I was like, I just sat there and I like took it in and my mom goes, no, this girl is 21. I was
Yeah.
21 at the time.
Good,
She said,
good for your mom.
this girl loves to eat. She cannot do that. And we got up, we left, we kept looking, and I'm here. I'm eating, drinking. I didn't lose my esophagus. I have no drains out the side of my neck. And just like Maddie said, you stand up for yourself, you find where you're comfortable. Your gut feeling, I know we're talking a lot about the gut today, but the gut feeling is so, so important.
And I wanted to add in, Jen has been such an advocate for me. We've only been friends, what, like 2 months now?
Yeah.
And I don't think I could have done the surgery without her. I mean, between helping me pack my hospital bag, telling me, girl, shut up, you're getting the surgery, to like, tough love, whatever I need. Like, and this surgery is so minimal compared, and I know, don't compare surgeries, don't compare illnesses, but Jen has had such a not only traumatic, but a very difficult health issues. And to see a girl like that be so brave, it was a no-brainer for me. I'm like, if this girl can go under and get freaking lungs, I can do this. Because I honestly, I just wanted to say thank you because I couldn't have done it without you. You give me so much, you know, I didn't mean to turn this to a soap opera, but you really encourage me every day because you wake up with a smile. And so many times I want to wake up and punch a wall, and there you are smiling and being happy. And I just think you're a very special person, and I'm so lucky to have you in my life. So that's all I'm gonna say for the sappiness, but I love you and you're my sister, and I'm so happy we are friends. So
I, 1,000 times back, I mean, even last night, I have this lung fluid issue, and I texted the girls, and then I disappeared for a bit, but they were texting and calling me. And I have a habit of sinking into myself, and I spiral, and it's all the bad things that have ever happened and all the bad things I've ever read. And even this morning, I get a call, and I'm like, oh, the last thing I want to do is talk to someone. And I was like, Maddie's calling me. Daniela's calling me. Teresa. I was like, guess if I'm going to talk to anybody. And then I was happy. I put on a tube top to match Maddie.
This is okay. Side note, this is our thing. So we have our tube tops, we have our necklaces. So we have the necklaces are very nice. They say be kind of a bitch when you pull them out. So, and we also have matching blankets. Not to say we're in a cult, but we kind of are. So
the cult, it's a coven. It's the sisterhood of the traveling necklace and
blanket, whatever. Yeah.
And again, she is my sister. She
We are
doesn't have a
sisters.
choice not to be. So, but let's move on before we start crying.
Yes.
What is the craziest non-medical thing that has ever happened to you? I think this is gonna be a good one.
Let's keep this PG.
You said it needs to be PG. I'm checking the explicit
for my parents.
For the parents, yes. Your angels.
Okay. This is just one that comes to my head. I'm sure there's many more. My friend was dating a pretty popular DJ when I was younger.
Is it Pauly D?
No, not Pauly D.
Okay. DJ,
I won't use names, but she had just got her nose pierced, and I said, "Oh my God, I want my nose pierced." And she goes, "Let's do it." And I said, "Okay." So her boyfriend at the time goes, "Let's do it on stage." And I said, "Okay."
Do it on stage.
So the dirtiest, I'm lucky, like it was a sterile needle, but our hands were not clean. Pushes it as hard as he can to my nose, and that is how I got my nose ring.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Insane.
These are some, tough ones. What is it really like being chronically ill and married?
Scary. And I say that because the statistic is most marriages where the woman is the sick one end in divorce. And I love my husband to death. I don't see us divorcing, but it does scare me because I always wonder, what if all of a sudden he wakes up one day and he's like, I don't want to go to all these doctor's appointments. I don't want to spend half my life in the hospital. I want someone who can take care of my kids and pick them up and take care of them. I mean, he's reassured me a million times. I don't want that, but like, it is a real fear of mine because I'm like, why wouldn't he? Like, why would someone want to deal with this? Luckily, I have the best husband in the world. But realistically, what if one day he does change his mind? I don't know, you know?
Yeah.
I think my biggest word would be kind of scary.
But I just want to remind you, you are Maddie. You're Madison. You're not MCAS, MALS, gastroparesis, EDS. You're Maddie. He married you because you're Maddie. You have those acronyms. So what?
You're right. And I have to remind myself of that daily because it gets scary.
And if you get scared, text me and
I do.
I will remind you because you're Maddie.
Thank you.
Like I'm Jen, you know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Here's another hard one. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm open book.
I just feel like this is important because I don't talk to many people who have chronic illnesses that are married.
Of course. Go for it.
Okay. How are you explaining your chronic illness to your young sons?
So they know mommy's sick. They know mommy can't eat food. When I first got sick, it was around Halloween and we were going trick-or-treating. And a woman came up to my youngest son, who was two at the time, and said, Do you want to give this to your mommy to eat? And he goes, No, mommy can't eat. Don't give mommy food. And oh my God, it broke my heart. But they think they don't like when mommy goes to the doctor's office because that means going to the hospital. And when I go, I'm usually gone a month and a half.
Mhm.
But my oldest son, who's 5 now, he said, Mommy, I know you're going to the doctor's office, but I have a question. Are you going to die? And I don't think anything has ever broken me more than that. And we always sing this Daniel Tiger song that goes, Grown ups come back. And I said, No, honey, mommy won't. And you know what? And you know what we say every night before bed? We go, if anything does happen to mommy and mommy can't see you, you can't see mommy, where's mommy? And he always goes, In my heart. So he knows no matter what, God forbid that takes return for the worst, I will always be in his heart. And I wrote them letters before I went into my mouth surgery that basically said, like, I don't want you to, God forbid anything happens to me. I don't want you to use this as like a poor me. I'm going to do nothing in life. I want you to use this as like my mom would be so proud of me knowing I went and followed my dreams and did this. And
Yeah.
that's all I care about because I don't want them to give up because God forbid anything happens to me. So,
You are a very good mom, Maddie.
oh, thank you. That's on, that means the world to me. Being a mom,
You
just,
are.
oh, I love being a mom.
Okay. I have two more questions until we
Okay.
get to the fun portion.
Ooh.
What's the biggest lesson you've learned from your health struggles?
Advocate for yourself because even if you think someone else will, even if you have the nicest doctors, the nicest nurses, the nicest anyone, nobody advocates for you better than yourself because these, for some reason, doctors, especially emergency room doctors, love to think we are drug seekers.
Mhm.
So and some nurses, they all talk. If you think they don't talk, you are high on crack because if you're saying to like one person, oh, this and this and this, and you're saying to the doctor, you need to be your biggest advocate. Like, and I would say a big one is if you're in pain, you advocate for yourself. You say, I'm in pain and I need help because you will not get help until you do that. Like, so yeah, I think that's my biggest advice there.
That is some great advice.
Thank you.
What do you want people to know about you and your diagnoses?
So I'd say what I want people to know the most about me is that I'm not my diagnosis. I am a mom. I'm a wife. I mean, I'm not like one of those like, oh, I gotta go
You're
make
not
him a
a trad
sandwich.
wife.
Yeah, but I'm a mom, very proud mom. I have an amazing job, which I'm obviously not doing right now because I've been sick for so long, I'm on leave, but I love my job. I do very well for myself. And I happen to have these illnesses that are pretty debilitating. So, but that's when I think about myself, I think of myself mainly as like, I'm that mom. I got my boys, they're 3 and 5 years old, and they have so much going on. And I don't know, that's all I see. I don't see the gastroparesis, I don't see the EDS, I don't see anything. I just see like I'm a mom. I don't know. Maybe
And that is
cheesy.
exactly how everyone should see themselves. Like Maddie said, you are not your diagnoses, you are yourself. You have to separate the two, but it's really, really hard
It
because
is.
this is something you deal with every day, 24/7.
And
And
it
it
is
does
okay.
feel like it's a part of you.
It's okay to feel like it is a big part of you. And it's my answer. Don't worry. Sometimes I walk around and I'm like, hey, I'm so miserable. Like, I'm not out there like, look at me. I'm sick and I don't care. Like, it's okay to not be okay, but it's also okay to not fully define yourself by your illness because I'm sure anyone who's watching this is a beautiful, beautiful person and that their diagnosis, if they have one, it's just a hump in the road.
That's why I call her a MILF with a heart of gold, ladies and germs.
Thanks. I'll take it.
All right, Maddie, let's play a game.
Ooh,
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
So, we will play Truth or Dare on the Sick Chick Hour today. Except it's a bit different. I will call it Truth or Truth.
Yeah.
I will ask you a question, and if you don't want to answer that question, you will have to tell me a different truth about yourself. Do you have any questions?
No questions. I'm ready. Let's go.
Okay. Truth for truth.
There we go.
What secretly gives you the ick in a relationship?
I think being overly jealous, like going through each other's phones. I think if someone doesn't trust me enough to not look at my phone, then we shouldn't even be together. Like, I have no problem being like, hey, you want to text, read this, whatever. Like, if I show you, go for it. But if you don't trust me enough to not sneak behind my back and go through my cell phone, there's some serious issues there.
Truth or truth. What gives you the ick about doctors in general?
I don't like when this new concierge service that doctors are offering, it really bothers me because it makes me feel like they got into their like I understand people have to make money, don't get me wrong, but doctors are famous for making a lot of money and then to offer a concierge service on top of that and not only offer it but force people to do it, say I will not see you anymore unless you pay this fee. That for me is an ick because we've taken advantage of people who need help to
Yes, I.
make more money.
All right. Truth for truth. What song do you play when you need a pick-me-up?
Right Where You Left Me by Taylor Swift. It's a very calm song. Or I play the like I actually on my way into surgery the other day was playing the Rocky theme song. It got me going and I was like, all right, let's go, let's go.
Yeah. All righty. All right. I feel like I know what you're gonna say, but I have to ask. Truth for truth. What's the strangest thing you've ever eaten?
I don't think I can say it on your
Say it. Say it. I want you to say it. I have money riding on this.
it's inappropriate. It's a sorry, mom.
Wait, you say it.
What's the strangest thing I've eaten? TPN, I guess.
Uh,
It's
no,
yeah,
we're
PG version.
there's no PG when it comes to this stuff. All right. Truth for truth. What's your worst habit?
My worst habit. Let's see. Oh, popping pimples. I love popping pimples. I am a popaholic. And if I see, I don't care if I met you 5 minutes ago, if you have a big old blackhead, I'm like, come over here, sweetie. Let me fix this for you.
Uh, it's so good. It's so
It's
good.
so good.
I know what I'm getting you for your birthday. One of those things that squishy thing.
I would be thrilled.
Okay, okay. Truth for truth. What are you most proud of for accomplishing medically?
I just recently started being able to tolerate liquids for the first time since August. Um, I was told by many doctors I would never eat or drink again, and basically to get used to this life. So, fuck you.
You guys.
I'm eating, I'm drinking, and my goal is to get off TPN by as soon as possible. So hopefully I'll be back to eating and drinking soon. I will still have, all my other illnesses, but food.
Food. Food is great.
Yeah.
Okay. So Maddie and I are both born and half raised for me. She's fully raised. I'm half raised in California. So, truth for truth. How did growing up in LA affect your body image? Personally, I always noticed the blonde hair, the very, very skinny moms, and I always heard comments from them when someone I went to school with gained weight. Did you
Hmm.
have a similar experience?
So, in middle school, I was bullied a lot. And I was bullied a lot because I was going through being diagnosed with ADHD, which, if you really know a lot about ADHD, you have impulse issues, it actually crosses over between bipolar a lot. And kids were very, very mean to me. But I just remember I was 5'6" at the time. I was 105 pounds, and I would look in the mirror and I would grab the skin on my stomach and say, but why is this here? My friend over here doesn't have that. Or why are my knees so big? Because I have big kneecaps. Like, it's just, and I also grew up in the movie industry where everyone is beautiful and everyone is perfect. Everyone has the plastic surgery. And it wasn't until I was like 27, 28 years old when I realized none of that matters. Like, and it's sad it took me that long, but I look back at myself when I was 16, 15, when I hated the way I looked. And I'm like, damn, girl, you were a hottie. I should have been out there grabbing ass and stuff. But instead, I
Yeah.
was home crying. So I think, yeah, it definitely did affect me a lot.
When you became chronically ill, did you kind of get a different outlook on how you feel or look about your body? Did you appreciate your body more for what it can do?
So when I got chronically ill, it was from a weight loss medication. And I remember when I started the weight loss medication that I was like, I will do anything to lose weight. I want to be 150 pounds. I will be perfect. Everyone will love me. And now I'm 120 something pounds. And I would give anything to be 210 pounds again to be healthy because weight doesn't matter, health matters.
Say it
So
louder for the people in the back, Maddie. Say it
it's
again.
so true. Weight does not matter. It's your health. I promise you.
There's
You are
nothing more
beautiful no
important
matter
than
what
our
you weigh.
exactly. Good. She passes the test. Truth for truth. In our friend group, rank us in order of how long you would think we would survive in a zombie apocalypse and explain why. If you
Okay,
could,
so Teresa's gone first because she would be praying like, "Hey God, we're having a zombie apocalypse, save us." Sorry, Teresa, you're off the island. Then I would say probably you'd be gone next because let's be honest, your lungs, I
yeah,
don't think you could outrun a zombie.
unless they were
I
the
would carry
small
you. I would carry you.
would carry me.
I would
Oh,
carry you.
okay.
But I'm not that strong. I can't even carry my 2-year-old. So we wouldn't make it that far. I say then it would be me because I would be doing like flirting with the zombies and then they'd eat me.
Mhm.
And then I
Jack,
think
I have a hot
Daniela.
take.
Daniela would live the longest. She would like grab her shoe and be like, you think you're gonna eat me? Like she would bring out her New York accent. Oh, those zombies don't stand a chance against her.
All right. I agree with the order. I do. I do. All right. Truth for truth. What was the scariest moment of your life so far?
Scariest was the other day going into that surgery, knowing multiple doctors told me I wasn't gonna wake up, and I had to tell my husband this is where our important documents are, and I had to basically prepare that I might not come home and that was terrifying to me because I've never experienced anything in my life like that. And I made it through. I even got sepsis and I'm still fighting, but
It's
it
a
was very
Band-Aid.
scary. Yeah, it was scary.
Okay. Lastly, truth for truth. What were you told as a child that you believed for way too long?
It's a good one. What was one?
I held on to Santa Claus for
I
until
did hold on to Santa Claus for a while. I want to say, what was it? There's a good one. I can't think of it. So Santa Claus would always give us a kiss on the cheek when he came to deliver presents. And my mom would put brown, like, I don't even know, like lipstick kind of and kiss us, right? And so we'd wake up and I don't think she did anything now that I think about it, but we would wake up like, Santa, it's right there. Until I was like 12 years old, I was bragging that Santa came and saw me, give me a kiss on the cheek.
oh my God.
Weird, whatever, but I believed it.
I have a funny Santa story. I was in the hospital in Long Beach, and my mom used to sleep over when I was in the hospital because I was a child in the
Of course.
hospital. And it was Christmas. It was Christmas Eve, yeah. And so I think I wake up at 2 a.m. and I'm coughing my head off because of, cystic fibrosis, which we established sucks. And I turned my head, and on my little hospital tray table where I left out celery for the reindeer and cookies for Santa, there were bites taken out of the cookies and gnaw marks on the celery. And I went, and the nurse and my mom, they're like, what is wrong with her? Can she not breathe? Is she okay? And I was like, Santa was here. This is proof. Santa was here. There's no chimney, but Santa was here. And they were all like, oh my God, what is she?
You gave him a heart attack?
So,
That's too good.
yeah, so that's my Santa story.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
Maddie, I hope you had a good time here today at the Sick Chick Hour. You are a force. I am so proud to know you and to witness your accomplishments as a person and as a chronic illness warrior. Thank you again for our wonderful friend group /cold/coven. And thank you for coming on my show and being so, so open. You can find Maddie online at the Maddie O. And as we sign off, I want to remind everybody to do a few things. Register to be an organ donor.
Yes. Even your eyes.
Yes, even your eyes. Believe in science. And do at least one nice thing for a stranger today. Follow me at Jen Can't Breathe on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. This has been the first episode of the Sick Chick Hour, where everyone is chronically chill.